Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist, and happy Tuesday, by the way. So, Mr. Rafa now is taking his turn on the motor, the 1500cc 36 horse for the good old Barndoor. So yeah, I built it up to a long block, and now he's gonna take it to a complete motor. We'll sort of collaborate, for lack of a better word, on some parts of it, but for the most part, yeah, he's taken over on it now. So today he got a few things done, as you can see if you follow the channel. He cleaned out inside and out the original oil cooler. There's a little VW logo on it there. I love finding VW logos on stuff. Anyway, yeah, cleaned that out, painted it, installed it. The fuel pump, which he had previously restored, is now installed and looking amazing. One little change he made on the distributor is that he swapped out the sheet metal style clamps for the wire style, which I believe should be correct for this year, or for this distributor. So yeah, he did those things. We had a shiny zinc clamp on here, but he decided that the black one would look better, and I agree. It was a bit distracting, and most of the hardware on this, the case at least, is black anyway, so it kind of makes sense. Let's see. I think those are kind of the main things that he did on the motor. On the car itself, went ahead and put the front seats back in. We had these out for a while because we were wanting to put the right stoppers on them, which is what kind of goes between the body and the seat, so that it's not just metal on metal as far as the frame of the seat just rubbing on the body here. So yeah, we ended up getting some seat stoppers for like the back seat of a later Beetle, like a 67 Beetle, and I believe he had actually attached them on the seat frame itself. And so then those sort of act as a buffer between the sheet metal of the body and the seat frame, so it's not metal on metal, because we don't want these two gouging each other up. So yeah, he did that, and then reinstalled this, and it looks amazing, of course. And he did also do a few things on the 74 Beetle, which I'm not going to show, but it's right there. He pulled out the padded dash, which was the original one, and has just a single crack in it, but otherwise is in phenomenal condition. We're actually going to try and preserve it and reuse it because it's really nice. And I think he pulled out the glove box liner, which is also really, really nice. We're going to reuse it. So yeah, he spent a little bit of time on that one, helping our paint and body guy get it ready so he can do the paint and body work under the front bonnet here, so in this area, and then also so that he can continue working on the paint and body on the dash and the inside of the car. Paint and body guy pulled the doors off today, off the 74, so yeah, it's moving right along. It's actually progressing pretty nicely through its paint and body phase. Very happy with it. This one will probably get back to it in a day or so. I did get the paint for the wheels, and again, our painter has them all masked off and stuff, and then I got the correct color paint from Kevin at Temple Restoration. So check this guy out if you don't know him. You can probably Google him or something. Temple Restorations makes pretty much every Volkswagen color about ever made, and offers it in spray cans. So what we do with this for wheels is we'll use spray cans and do the actual color, and then we'll use like a good hard automotive clear coat over that, and then it's pretty much indestructible at that point. So that's how we do wheels. And then I need to order this guy some tires too. So yeah, this one should be coming along here again pretty soon. Let's see, what else? So I worked on this one some today. And let me show you what I did. It had this CD player from like, I don't know, 1990, whatever, underneath the dash there. And it was just ugly because it was like this big wart growing on the underside of the dash. So I went ahead and pulled that out. and believe it or not, cleaned up the wiring. So there was a lot of wiring just like hanging down here, especially after I took that CD player out. There's still a bunch of wiring over there that's kind of exposed that I think the carpet is going to cover up when we put the carpet in. But yeah, there was just a ton of wires hanging down all under here. So kind of zip tied those up in there best I could and made it look a little bit neater. And yeah, dash looks much more clean without that stupid CD player under there. And of course, it'll look amazing once my interior guy redoes all these bits and pieces for it and the upholstery on the top and all that. It's going to look incredible. Other than that, spent quite a bit of time cleaning this mess. And I think this is probably about as good as it's going to look without me pulling the motor out. I just spent a lot of time with Simple Green and various rags and some gas, some carburetor cleaner, just trying to get this thing looking less disgusting, which, I mean, the whole motor was just like solid dirt. You couldn't even tell that it was black underneath there anywhere. It looked almost more just gray or, I don't know, brown dirt color. So yeah, cleaned that the best I could. And I took and hosed off his carburetors real good with carb cleaner. So they're looking pretty good. You couldn't even really see them before. They were so dark and dingy looking. So carbs are looking pretty good. I'm going to get him some new air cleaners because air cleaners, they look terrible. One of them is missing the chrome top on it. And then the filters elements themselves are all squished up looking. So yeah, a pair of new tops on those will look good. The other thing is I started actually trying to tune this thing, and boy, it is not running that good. I might have my work cut out for me here. So initially what I did was I fired it up and I synced the carbs left to right. The sync at idle was actually pretty spot on. I didn't do anything with it, but the linkage was a total mess. Fixed the linkage. Linkage is, I would say, pretty synced now. And then moved on to the timing. Whoever put this motor together, so the points on these use points unless you update them with the electronic ignition. The gap in the points is supposed to be 16 thousandths. These were literally 24 thousandths of gap in the points. So pretty crazy amount. And so that was one thing. So I fixed that. And then the ignition timing was, I think it was almost like 30 degrees at idle, like 20 plus at least. And then when you rev the motor, it was going up to like 50 or something. It just had an insane amount of timing in it. So I adjusted that and got it back down to where now it's like 10 or 12-ish at idle. And then when you rev the motor, it goes up to, 30, 32. So kind of normal for like a, pretty much any VW motor with a 009, kind of normal range of timing. But it doesn't run good. And I don't know, guys. I started pulling spark plug wires because it was just idling really rough. And it didn't seem to be the carburetors, I don't think, I don't believe it's the carburetors, because when I started pulling spark plug wires with the car idling, pulling plug wire number one made no real discernible difference in the idle of the motor. Spark plug 4, it like nearly died. The idle speed dropped a lot. Number 3, kind of the same as number 1. It did I would say nothing actually when I pulled that spark plug off. And then number 2, again, kind of like number 4, when I pulled that plug wire, it tried to die. It didn't quite, but so it seems like it's basically, at least at idle, it's pretty much running off numbers 2 and 4, and numbers 1 and 3 seem to be doing little to nothing. So I don't really know what's going on with that. I guess I'm going to have to start diagnosing that, because essentially, as far as I can tell, this thing is pretty much running on 2 cylinders right now. I don't know. Maybe it's just at idle, but what makes me think that it's not a fuel issue is that So these are single barrel carburetors. So this carburetor feeds both cylinders, likewise with this one. So if it was a carburetor issue, then if you had an issue with one cylinder, you'd have it with both on that same cylinder head. So the fact that it seems to be running off, number 4 seems to be running, but not 3, tells me that carburetor is probably okay. But something's going on with either that cylinder or that coil or spark plug lead, or I don't know what. And then the same with number 3. Carburetor seems fine on that side because number 2 seems to be running, but number 1 isn't. So I've got my work cut out for me. I might start in the morning. What I haven't done on this car yet is I haven't checked the valves for adjustment. I don't think that's it, but I do need to do it anyway. So I'm probably going to start there. And again, I'm not expecting that to be the source of why it's not running. If it is, that's actually pretty bad. Like if it's got a couple of valves that got dropped, or I don't even know. Like, I'm kind of afraid of what I may find on this thing. Supposedly the motor was rebuilt. The owner who has it now said that the guy he bought it from stressed many, many times that the motor had been rebuilt. But, people say that, and who knows. So anyway, yeah, stay tuned for that. I got to figure out why this thing seems to be running off 2 cylinders. And who knows? Hopefully it's something simple. Maybe a couple bad spark plug leads. That's why I actually labeled these, because I'm probably going to switch the number 4 and number 3 spark plug leads and see if the issue that I'm having follows the spark plug lead. And pull the plugs out, see what they look like, stuff like that. So yeah, just kind of go through the diagnosis process here. But anyway, at least the motor is cleaner now. I know it still doesn't look great, but if you go back through some recent videos where I show the motor on this, you'll see how terrible it looked. The other thing I did while I was back here was this hood deck lid latch mechanism, which isn't actually doing anything because there's nothing here to latch onto. But it was super ugly. And then the part of the body here that it mounts on was just like, I guess it was like yellow fiberglass still. And then this tube here that the cable runs through was like copper, but with paint chipping off it. So kind of cleaned that all up and put a few coats of paint on it. Because when you open the engine compartment, that thing is kind of like right there in your face. And it looked bad, especially noticeable after the motor was relatively cleaner. So anyway, stay tuned for this one. Hopefully I'll figure it out soon, and hopefully it'll be something relatively easy. And I believe that is it for today, guys, other than mentioning that the orange bug is gone. The owner came by today and grabbed it. He's super happy with how it's looking now, and that we found all those little safety issues and corrected them and stuff like that. So it's gone. And then supposedly, fingers crossed, Mr. Eddie of Eddie and Dave's Garage is going to take this one in the morning, and then, as I mentioned before, he's going to try and help the owner sell it through auction or whatever. So this may be the last time you see this one. So that's actually it for today, guys. So appreciate you all watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.